Basic appraisal procedures, page 98. Census tract map. The numbers represent census tracts. The darker lines represent each census tract's boundaries. This is a census tract number. FEMA flood map. The FEMA flood panel map is available from www.fema.gov. The appraiser can use it to locate the subject property and recognize a flood hazard area. Flood hazard areas on the flood insurance rate map firm are identified as a special flood hazard area, SFHA. SFHA is defined as the area that will be inundated by the flood event, having a 1% chance of being equaled or exceeded in any given year. This is also referred to as the base flood or 100-year flood. SFHAs are labeled Zone A, Zone AO, Zone AH, Zones A1 through A30, Zone AE, Zone A99, Zone AR, Zone AR/AE, Zone AR/AO, Zone AR/A1 through A30, Zone AR/A, Zone V, Zone VE, and Zones V1 through V30. Moderate flood hazard areas, labeled Zone B or Zone X, shaded, are also shown on the firm and are the areas between the limits of the base flood and the 0.2% annual chance or 500 a year flood. The areas of minimal flood hazard which are the areas outside the SFHA and higher than the elevation of the 0.2% annual/chance flood, are labeled Zone C or Zone X, unshaded. The flood panel number and date of FEMA's flood determination should also be included in the appraisal report. Page 99. Location and neighborhood characteristics. Or actually, hold on. Zone AE in floodplain. Zone X not in floodplain. NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program. Panel 0355C. Firm, Flood Insurance Rate Map. Anonymous town and incorporated areas. Panel 355 of 575. See map index for firm panel layout. Contains community, number, panel, suffix. Anonymous county, the map number, and effective date are pieces of information needed for reporting. Map number, effective date. Page 99. Location and neighborhood characteristics. We have discussed location within the context of geographic characteristics for a site, but one additional consideration is the property's location within a community. The appraiser must be certain to communicate this accurately in the appraisal, particularly since the client or other users of the appraisal may not be familiar with the area. The difference between urban and suburban is fairly obvious in large cities, but could be more problematic in less populated areas. Neighborhood boundaries. A neighborhood is defined as a group of houses or properties that share common characteristics. Properties might share physical characteristics, for instance, similar style or age, or physical boundaries, for instance, natural boundaries such as a river or artificial boundaries such as a highway. Neighborhoods can also be defined by other characteristics such as zoning, demographics, or income levels. In fact, almost anything can define a neighborhood except for race, religion, national origin, ancestry, familial status, disability, or any other protected classes. A neighborhood is simply a small part of a larger community. When defining a neighborhood, the appraiser often starts with natural and artificial geographic boundaries of an area. Natural boundaries include the obvious rivers and lakes, but also the less obvious parks, mountains, or valleys. Artificial boundaries include man-made things like streets, highways, and railroads, and may also be drawn along school, zoning, or political districts. Next, the appraiser performs a personal inspection of the area, looking for similarity of land usage and types of improvements, as well as consistency of building style, landscaping, and even maintenance or upkeep. Finally, the appraiser confirms the neighborhood boundaries by comparing the social and economic characteristics of the area. Important points. Data regarding the neighborhood and its characteristics are necessary to perform a market analysis, which is in turn necessary to perform the highest and best use analysis. A neighborhood is defined by common characteristics, for instance, similar architectural style, zoning, or occupant income level, or physical boundaries, either natural or artificial, for instance, a natural river or a man-made road. A neighborhood may not be defined by race, religion, or any other protected class. The characteristics of the neighborhood create market appeal or resistance.